adventure into reality. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go, everyone. Sit back, relax. Let everybody come on into the chat room. We are going to be giving 2 free tickets away to those that are members and want to go to Living the Mystical Life daily. There is Debbie in the chat room who will be taking those that want to become part of the event and have the opportunity. You must submit directly to Debbie in the chat room for you to have your chance grown. Last time we had a winner, and the last time before that we had another. We're going to be giving away tickets until the day up to the last 2 weeks before the events. So log into the chat room, communicate to Debbie so that we can put your name in the next drawing. Today we will be taking calls. We'll be taking questions from the chat room also. But today I want to talk to you before we get started, what today is about. I have spoken about martyrs and zealots and those that tend to drive forward the hologram of unsovereign reality here. And this unsovereign reality we have requires us to let it go. In all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, and universe. That's why contract revocations were created, why a whole genre of trauma removal was created by thousands of healers over thousands of years to let go of what is the past that is a shell holding you back. Martyrship is a shell that says there's only one way of illumination, the way that the martyr is sacrificing themselves for. The zealot believes their way is the only way and will sacrifice others before they sacrifice themselves. That is the main difference between the zealot and the martyr. There are times that those who are sacrificing themselves will sacrifice all those around them for their belief in a greater good. The illusion and delusion that you save one for 1,000 has been an ideological dilemma since the dawn of ideological dilemmas in a 100% free-willed universe, and a 100% free-willed galaxy, on a 100% free-willed planet, in which we do not even understand the levels of our free will, let alone what 100% means. You own your sovereign bubble of reality, and if something else wants to claim ownership of it in your unawareness, tough luck. It is about growing the self, the inner self, the outer self, finding confidence in caring and the self-healing and self-nurturing that it creates. Over the last few years, I have been talking about the shaman's death. There is the next shaman's death on hand. To live in this generation of the now, one must take the time and the intent to observe their surroundings, both seen and unseen. The shaman's path has many valleys, gorges, and mountains that seem impossible at that moment. Though when we look back with hindsight, there was just an expression of the self defeating inner programs to not succeed on the path to your personal unlimited point of view. Each person will come to their shaman's death in a different way. Each being has their own unique blueprint into becoming a maintained and self-being of a shaman on a path that is defined by the companionship with the internal, eternal being you are and we all are. The shaman is willing to look at his family and friends and surroundings and chart a course of ancestral balance of seen and unseen energy. The shaman's path is fraught with expressions of former selves who hold illusionary power of a future version of you. It is the shaman's duty to heal the self, know all versions of thyself, be the signature frequency of the message, the emanation, so all potentials are created. It is the shaman's duty to neutralize the external and internalize the infinite being of joy and light. So we are transforming, transmuting, transcending photonic beings of light. The shaman is willing to use the a la carte method of belief so that they are not trapped in one modality of thinking, existing, creating through a limited ideology. The shaman does pilgrimages to sacred places in the seen and the unseen world. The shaman path has moments where we must confront our former selves who do not want to go any further with our mystical success. A blissfully mythical path of joy and prayer. Each and every person will learn their own way of coming to terms of surrender to the great mystery. The shaman's path has ever-present moments of eternal acknowledgments of the internal infinite source being we are. The shaman is a being of all colors, expressing their form of sacred neutrality in both day and night. Each day we experience light, there becomes a transition to dusk and then night. When night is fully in bloom, the mystical side of night reveals itself to those taking the time to observe the nightly life of the seen and the unseen. For countless generations, people have explored at night, challenging their own minds not to create fear. Each and every one of you have had to learn to sleep at night, had to learn to understand day and night. Night also means it's the weaning hours where we sleep and dream. Oftentimes we wake up during our dreams and have moments of lucidity that amazes us. Flying, swimming, talking, eating, gatherings, all things solid, real for the observer in the dream. The night work is to help you build the constructs of the mind that go into the heart of the dreaming body as we ascend into our sleep state. This is a way of being. Our density and agendas come forth our dream world. So a form of dreaming synopsis can be formed with the construct of the medium of perception. The construct of the medium of perception is you in your body with a dreaming self that has an I am presence that is a singularity and not a duality. Now is the time to act and the heart mind protected with the I am presence framework and begin the great work of self-education, of sacred living, self-education of spiritual hygiene, and the self-education of sacred discipline, actualized each day with a joyous heart, not at work, doing the process, learning it from chronicling, for the later viewer to see the growth within yourself in the micro moments as footsteps of life pass. The choice is easy, the endurance of change, that will determine your commitment to the sacred discipline of accepting and giving in equal co-creation. You build your endurance and strength, each breath you take, each sovereign sleep you have, each moment being a match for communion and union consciousness from within. Emanate this and learn and relearn, not to emulate. Once you understand the emanation of the message, you will understand a whole new point of view for your natural organic evolution. The winds of perceptions change course as human and spirit nation kind come one step closer to understanding the ever-present co-creative moment-to-moment living. This natural way of life exists for all sentient kind living and coexisting on Earth's mother's realms. The heart of the horse, that's right, the horse, the animal totem of the four-legged, is the fabric of the dreamscape that we live in. It is horse who spread the fabric of reality that spider wove. So we can learn dreams, our ever-present co-creative dreams are here now, linked to all the realities and all dimensions. This is where Earth's children's mission began, to be the unvanquished dream of free co-creation. You are that unvanquished dream of free co-creation when you accept the mantle of responsibility. I continue forth on the blazing trail. I now see those on this path have assembled like perfect sections of great mysteries puzzle. I am the living shaman, knowing I must go forth through a regular life reviews, so I may let go that which does not go forth on the sacred path of my daily mystical life. This I am presence declares sovereign boundaries, so we may hold sacred space within each of ourselves without worry of invasion from any source that's not in alignment with global dreamtime and unity consciousness. I now state to all ancestors' presence, I am ready to invoke my natural rights as universal citizen born on Earth, as the specific signature frequency. Are you ready to be the shaman in the path? If so, I'll see you in the dreamtime, brothers and sisters on the path to sacred living. To be here in the now, it has no price or agenda. We as I am born beings through the natural way of living are living, breathing beings of remedy and resolve. That is our agenda. That is why we are agenda-driven beings. We come here with spiritual contracts. We are spiritual, contract, I am driven, source connected beings here to understand the unlimited point of view. Learning our interconnectedness is resolving spiritual contracts through the synchronicity process that surrounds our seen and unseen worlds. The uniworlds are layered over the seen and the unseen world we live in. Within the layered uniworld, we exist in non-duality. It is a choice to be present in the ever-present moment of the self-awareness of the uniworld's presence in our layered forms of reality. Each being has its own point of view, and the layerings of spirit throughout their linear and nonlinear life path. In the seen world, we're seen for what we are, residual images that represent to another point of view. Do they see us for who we are? Do they see us for what we portray and how they interpret it? What they see to their point of view, that has all of its concepts mixed in a soup of understanding based off their perception, created by the impressions of those that raised that person to understand they have a sacred point of life view and that their life walk is their own without others trying to secure, enforce a single way of expression. Our parents and siblings are key co-creators in our development of our view of our residual image and the energies we share in the layered worlds of awareness and unawareness. As we grow older and wiser with our internal and eternal spirit, we learn and relearn how our parents and siblings and families assisted in creating a path that envelops the seen and unseen world with the concepts or of methods of understanding how the unseen world interacts with each and every one of your choices. To see, hear, feel, and understand this relationship of residual image and programs, concepts, and ideologies, we, in unknowingness, learned growing up. A baby in the crib, fed by a parent exhausted from work, a 5-year-old staying up late, waiting for their mother to come home from work. How your brother or sister created imbalances within the home that crossed you and your newfound emotions, creating motions that had consequences and actions for your reactions and distilled passive aggressiveness. Do you see the relation? Are you ready to decide on how vision is stored in memory? This one of the many ways of seeing the sacred path of others have a point of view. The unlimited point of view is a word phrase order that will challenge your limited point of view, in which what scale and size you think. Ask questions, occupy the very space that you're in, dreams and all of the other mystical things, yet in one's I am definement action now. Each moment to moment is the I am passing on the legacy of self-creation. I am often asked, what's my galactic history? Choices of choices. DNA has been shared against the natural co-creative path of all natural evolution in conjunction with beings distorting the law of one, the universal expressions. Each world we exist on, aspects of ourselves emerged and revealed to the many selves, the existence of a version of ourself that was in duality and competition with itself. That version became perturbed and began evaluating our perceptions. That is when the system decided to create a set of choices to integrate itself into our versions of potential choices. This created a distortion in time and space and what was natural free-willed existence. From that point forwards and backwards through all time-space permutations, the I am beings of the now became the integrators and disintegrators of a distortion and a non-distortion simultaneously. The choice points were simple in this version of other selves. The distortion was a distortion of the law of one, or the universal law of one. We see this here in today's society, where one expression has dominated the law of one, or how one faction has claimed the rainbow as their moniker. There were many sub-choice points of free will that allowed natural co-creative evolution. This is why we exist now. So we can take the choice points of adherence of other beings and say, I do not choose to be in communion and union with your set of choice points that have defined in me as the now. Now is the time for changing the view of what a distortion is or a non-distortion is. This will be done by a media campaign unlike any other, one that will remove the view of distortions and allow the natural view to come into the unlimited point of view. For those choosing the next step of choice points out of love for the divine being that they are, without a distortion guiding them to choice points of continued distortion with universal expression. This being of the now is the divine co-creator of our out of sheer willpower in a world of anti-willpower. This choice has no resistance in front or behind it. It only deals with the distortion of what is one and oneness and what is the illusion of oneness. Each being faces that every day. Are you in the illusion of oneness? With this understood, this campaign will challenge those on sacred living path to be sacred or not. Those choosing any form of sacred living will experience a transformation of choice points that will help them disengage from the choice points of distortion and return themselves to a non-distortion point of view, step by step, choice by choice. I ask you now, what is a choice in the mechanics of your mind? Each individual has their own view on what a choice or non-choice is. Each person must ask themselves, what are the mechanics behind my choices? And what are the choices I made that made a timeline of choices that the chooser of the choice point must adhere to? This may seem difficult to understand, but this is the most basic form of self-understanding. The timeline of choice you made to become the being of now with the opportunity, who may choose an unlimited set of choice points. Many have experienced this already in a simpler definition. I made a choice of words to make a set of words that has complexity to it, to challenge the mediocrity of all other points of view that are based in choice points of adherence. What is a choice that counters and removes all other distorted choices and choice points of adherence? Simple. I, in this ever-present moment of the now, choose to make all other distorted choice points and choices null and void from this point forward and backwards through all other choice points that created a timeline of adherence of previous choices. I do not need to adhere to any choice points that distorts my natural co-creative evolutionary path of self-discovery. That's the name it to claim it system, defining what it obviously is. Can I make this more complicated? Yes, I can. For those of you in mediocrity, if you have made it this far, then so be it. You have the ability to comprehend and understand. If you choose to go any further, you will be in uncharted water, for mediocrity can go no further, without denial or self-defeating attitudes, breaking the conjugation of word orders that make sense to the genius within, using this pattern recognition from the very first word that I said. Each choice and each sub-choice within a set of choice points creates a subconscious map of adherence of choices that help define our reality. The reality is based on all of our other choices combined into this ever-present moment of now. Can you see this relation to choice and reality functions? If you can change the reality functions and choice point orders to manifest multiple choice point sets that override, outcreate, and disregard the previous set of choice points if you should so choose. You already do this every day you decide to go to work and live without the fullness of your being present. Now can you flip the table of understanding to your advantage of choice and the ever-present moment? Engage your genius, not your sub-genius. Make a clear separation of what is your genius and what is your sub-genius. From there, it is easy as making a choice of what you want for breakfast. A choice to become a signature frequency match for non-distortion comes within the mantle of responsibility to one's own level of awareness. too complex for you? This opening speech has 17 layers of complexity. Why did I choose that? Because I am trying to lure each of you out of your forms of perception that are limiting your point of view before we take callers who will be coming here for the unlimited point of view. The uncharted waters become charted courses of action when we create defined routes and resources so that the seeker of knowledge is on their sacred path to self-discovery. The essence of teaching of a being of signature frequency match and experience, it has many variables, outcomes, themes, and methods of entanglement. Each distilled down to its very essence represents a choice that does include your level of conscious application of the sacred and how effectively you use your sacred discipline to make a clear separation of sacred learning versus recreational learning. One who engages the genius with the mystical teaches us every day about the great wonders and the great paths to self-illumination, with our divine co-creative selves manifesting peacemakers and peacekeepers as our signature frequency match for all eras of time and light we live in. So the 7 future generations have something to inherent that is not war, poverty, in a repeating cycle that never ends without illumination. How will you heal yourself and self-nurture yourself with your own system, with equality to what spiritual goals you have? Set up with yourself rules to engage and do not disregard recreational time, for it is part of the sacred healing journey too. Equal co-creation is a moment to moment that is passed on to the moment of understanding that you are an ever-evolving being with expansion and contraction of knowingness going to awaken asleep moments. There is no separation between dream world and this world. It is only a perception we empower out of habitual patterning from lifetime to lifetime, passed down the family lineage, generation to generation, trying to become a collective being who will not be irrelevant to the passing of the eras of history. Time marches on until we choose not to adhere to time or any forms of manifestation from our infinite existence. Non-competition is a way of living daily life in the seen and the unseen layers of your reality. When you choose non-competition, whole new frequencies come to you. What is non-competition? With equal co-creation as a means and methods of procedure that enhances non-competition, its color, its light experience. When one chooses to be a non-competition, one does not win, lose, or draw at any subject projecting competitional order. Non-competition nullifies the essence of competition with the fullness of one's authentic interbeing present during the actions of the I am choices that allows the unlimited point of view. So full access and experience in one's seeking and sharing of knowledge with those who have sacred spiritual journeys within themselves. It will always be your choice and choice points to take the next level, to see yourself as a non-competitional being with the other versions of yourself, to go into the sympathetic and parasympathetic shit, shadow and ego, and to begin to remove their lies piece by piece until such a time you build your hologram of self-emanating light as the self-illuminated master. Oh-ho, powerful energies. Alrighty, so I think we're going to take our first call. Just a second, let me check the chat room here. Looks like my computer froze. Alright. Alright, so let's take our first caller.
Okay, our first call will be from the La Jolla, California area.
La Jolla, California. Are you there?
Hello?
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. What questions do you have today?
I have a few questions, but I guess my most prominent one is I have some issues like OCD, anxiety issues that are kind of like overwhelming me at the moment.
Uh-huh. Just give me a second. What year were you born?
1984.
When did these anxiety issues really begin for you?
When I was younger, even like 7 or 8, I started picking at my skin, and I've had that my whole life, which I still can't break that habit.
Was
And
anyone
then
else
I
in
had a
was anyone else in your family OCD?
my dad and his father had. I don't know that their symptoms were anywhere near what mine are,
So
but
it's a
they
family
have had the
it's a
similar.
family lineage curse.
Yeah.
So OCD is something that's empathically learned from others. So when you were just discovering what your I am technology was before your puberty turned on, your empathic skills were highly enhanced, and you began picking up the subtleties of what your adult father was going through, but would never actually tell his 8-year-old daughter. You were on the inside of his hologram. And because you were on the inside of his hologram, you began empathically taking on his OCD habits and trying to only perceive him as the young girl you were at that moment.
Okay.
Okay? So I want you to just imagine that young girl, 7, 8 years old. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a process of trauma removal. And what I'm going to do is be reading you and your father and trying to get to the root of why this web has been created in you and why this picking of the skin. I believe the picking of the skin was an entity also. It's pretty common. So
Okay.
what I want you to do is just repeat after me. I, in this ever-present moment,
I, in this ever-present moment,
choose to acknowledge my OCD self
choose to acknowledge my OCD self
that was created at a young version of myself.
that was created at a young version of myself.
I scan through my memories
I scan through my memories
and find the 8-year-old girl.
and find the 8-year-old girl.
I see her, shadowed,
I see her,
shadowed, not in the light.
not in the light.
I emanate my light to her,
I emanate my light to her,
bright as the sun at high noon.
bright as the sun and high noon.
I come into her ever-present moment
I come into her ever-present moment
as the ancient future now being.
as the ancient future now being.
I hug her with love.
I hug her with love.
She recognizes me as her future,
She recognizes me as her future.
and now I tell her my story,
Now I tell her my story
so she may know every point of the future coming.
so she may know every point of the future coming,
Every love and love lost,
every love and love lost,
every person that has come to and from my life,
every person that has come to and from my life,
every right and wrong choice I've made,
every right and wrong choice I've made,
every inner emotion,
every inner emotion.
nothing is held back.
Nothing is held back.
So she knows the future
So she knows the future
and may now deprogram
and may now be programmed,
the impression from her father
the impression from her father
of an uncertain future.
of an uncertain future.
Your future is certain and set in stone,
Your future is certain and set in stone,
for I am your ancient future now,
for I am your ancient future now,
coming back to the first choice,
coming back to the first choice,
where my empathic skills awoken
where my empathic skills awoken
and began taking on adult energy
and began taking on adult energy
before I was ready.
before I was ready.
I give this young girl
I give this young girl
the fullness of my love.
the fullness of my love.
I bring her into my womb,
I bring her into my womb,
for she is me and I am her.
for she is me and I am her.
And I now give birth to myself in this present time,
And I now give birth to myself in this present time,
free of the empathic energies,
free of the empathic energies,
driving OCD
driving OCD
into an unsovereign future,
into an unsovereign future
where the choices are not known.
where the choices are not known.
You are an ever-present being
You are an ever-present being
who can choose at any moment in time,
who can choose at any moment in time,
linear or nonlinear,
linear or nonlinear,
to change the past
to change the past
so the ancient future may be healed.
so the ancient future may be healed.
I now make this ever-present moment
I now make this ever-present moment
part of my Hall of Akashic Record victories.
part of my Hall of Akashic Record victories,
Let all versions of myself
that all versions of myself
who need to know my future,
who need to know my future,
who are from my linear time being of me,
who are from my linear time being of me,
what it took to create this healing within myself.
what it took to create this healing from within myself.
This is my day of eternal victory.
This is my day of eternal victory.
There we go. How you feeling?
I feel really good. I feel the best I felt in a really long time.
Yeah, so what I was doing was, as you were speaking those words, I was looking at the web inside your mind. How OCD was driving the sympathetic to flood you with emotions, and then the parasympathetic using faulty precognition to create OCD awareness that something was out of place. Because you had a great fear that your reality was being moved. And you got that on from your father, and you became obsessed with being in the right reality, even though you were multiply existing in many realities. And that's something you took on from your father, because he really didn't have a deep understanding of spirit at that time. And part of his spiritual contracts with you, which he was unable to do, was to be a spiritual teacher for you about what awareness is. Your mother, too. But they grew up in an era that didn't allow that.
Okay. I haven't had a very close spiritual connection with my parents.
I can
I
tell.
mean, of course, I've learned lessons from them, but
Yeah. They were supposed to be greatly different. I mean, you have spiritual contracts for them to teach you a tremendous more about spirit, but they were unable to. Again, choice points. This means you have to go out and seek it. That's why you had such an uncertain future, and that's why OCD began for so long. I would like for you to try to repeat this and go back to that young girl and actually tell her your story, your loves, your heartbreaks, names, dates, details. Be the emanation of the future coming to the past, because when you heal your past, you instantly heal your future. You now.
mhm.
Were you experiencing anything when you were doing that? Any emotions?
When I was
Speaking.
repeating after you,
Yeah.
hello?
Yep. After me, did you feeling any emotions?
I just feeling a lot of relief. I'm just so driven. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so ready to let go of these obsessions, and I feel relief because I did feel kind of like some release there, but I'm craving that medicine. So it's almost like taking medicine.
Yeah. And
Kind of
how do you
feeling.
get yourself not obsessing about the medicine? Because you've done this before. You've been to this level of growth before, but then got obsessed with the medicine, and the medicine became a poison.
that resonates
Right.
a lot.
Many people with obsession have that. Now, there are a lot of, let's just say, cheesy things that I can say that actually work. But I
Uh-huh.
think for you, because this is so lifelong, that you have to learn to use OCD and obsession to your strategical advantage. So if you are a
Okay.
person, if you are a person that puts something on your schedule, does it have to be OCD done?
No.
Okay. So where does your OCD come out that forces you to do things?
I have I failed the bar exam, and after I had that big failure, a lot of obsessions about my house came up, and I was obsessed that my house was going to burn down. So before I leave the house and before I go to sleep at night, I go around and I check every outlet, I check every faucet, I make sure nothing's
Okay, that's
left on.
paranoia.
Like,
That's a paranoia
yeah,
program. Okay, that
okay,
paranoia program's using 20% of your daily energy alone.
yeah, I'm
So
exhausted.
you have to see yourself in obsession inside your mind and go, no, I'm taking my power back at this moment. I do not need to check the plugs. And then when the prepared statement from the paranoia program says energies will come in, it'll attack you, blah, 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 tell it to shut the fuck up and fire it, pink slip it with no severance pay. And actually say that out loud. You're fired. Like Trump. If you don't act in the moment when you observe the habit, how are you ever going to beat it? Because that's where it's owning you. That's where it's taking its power, and you've got to take its power back from it, demasculate it, snip its nuts off. Just like a dog that's got to go get fixed. Okay, snippy, snippy.
Yeah.
How often have you observed yourself and going, "Why am I doing this?" As you're obsessing and going through it?
Almost every time I do it.
So, what does it actually take for you in your own mind to go, no? Choice.
Willpower.
That's it. It's just choice. That's what my starting speech was about. Choice and choice points of adherence. There is some choice points of adherence that says, if I don't do this, my reality will come undone. That is what obsession is.
Mhm.
Will your reality come undone if you don't check the plugs? Will the house set on fire?
No, it won't.
So then how do you take the justification that a program is using to run your life? I, in this ever-present moment of now, choose to see, hear, feel, and observe this paranoia program, discover where I create it, reduce it to zero, minus infinity, delete its programming and source connection from me, for it has taught me all lessons. It is fired in all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, and universes, and any entity that's interacted with, all contracts are now become null and void with power. Those are the types of things you do in the moment. Have you fought with your OCD and it fights back and takes over?
I think that's taking so much of my energy is that fight, and then I guess inevitably the loss. I mean,
It's a
sometimes
loss
better than
because you
others.
don't actually change.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, what other OCD things are driving you?
I think there are, like, in my everyday relationships, maybe there's some fears of, like, worst case scenario or just not trusting. I mean, I think it's related to the anxiety, but just not trusting my judgments, not trusting my decisions, and kind of looking to others to confirm whether something's a good choice or not. Or
That's called codependency. So now you're OCD and codependent. This you're getting from your mother. So you have a masculine and a feminine side. Your masculine side is OCD and your feminine side is codependent.
okay,
Do you see how your soup of miscreation is going? Most of these things that you're dealing with, the paranoia programs, you picked up from other people. They're not even yours, not even your own creations. Can you redirect your OCD to have an outdoor ceremonial fire?
That's funny. Oftentimes I want to do some of the ceremonies that you recommend to others, and I stop myself because it involves fire, and I have like that program.
Where did that begin from? What happened? Why fire? What happened?
I think it has to do with, failing the bar exam and having a lot of disappointment. And so I feel like that burning a house down to me feels like the same kind of epic mistake or epic, stupid decision that would cause,
Okay.
like a terrible result.
So you never actually got burnt or had anything else go wrong. It's just some reason the bar and fire make sense. Failing of the bar and fire now makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you see the confusion and juxtaposition of a codependent mother imprint and an uncertain future from the father? That you just grabbed that from something. It's random chaos running you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? You can't allow random chaos to run you. That means you are not a 100% sovereign free will being. You're like 2% free will. But
yeah,
at any
it's
point
like
you can choose. Any point you can choose to change.
Yeah.
Now it takes. What does it take to light a fire up under your ass? Okay. Are you in a relationship now?
I'm not in a relationship.
Okay.
That's funny. That was my other question.
When's the last time you were in a relationship?
Recently, I had a pretty good relationship actually that ended on good terms. That ended about 2 months ago.
And why did it end?
Moved across the country, and there were some questions about whether or not he could stay in the country because of his visa issues, and I guess with those issues, our connection wasn't enough to sustain.
Okay. How did
Also, I just didn't think that it was a long-term. I just had a sense that it was not supposed to be a long-term relationship.
Okay. You said that with a lot of emotions of denial behind it. And all the whole audience heard you half cry during that. So let's go a little deeper. Yeah, everyone heard it. You loved him, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think he was the husband for me. I didn't think he was the, as you call it, the sacred bonded partner.
But he was Mr. Right Now. He was Mr. Right Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now admit you had love. Say it to yourself.
I loved him, yes. Yeah.
Now what? You need love in your life. Obviously, as long as the OCD is running you, it's not going to allow love in your life. So what I'm trying to do is to add more chaos to the OCD program right now. So it crashes like a Windows 10 with a new update.
Okay.
Okay? We can crash these programs with just the unlimited point of view because they are not programmed to deal with the unlimited point of view. Force that into your OCD. I will never have love if I don't get over this plug starting fires. Okay? How about we obsess about meditation? How about we obsess about healing ourselves?
Right, without the filter. Because
Yes.
I do think about healing, of course, but it's filtering through the program, and it's not what I want it to be.
That's right. Have you done much of the contract revocations?
I have. I've done the sacred feminine, sacred masculine. I've done so many of the things that you recommend with other callers.
Okay.
But I'm sure I could be doing more.
Then I
would be seeing more results.
Have you gotten the advanced heart meditation?
I actually have not done it.
Has it been sent to you?
I think I do have it in my email. I think I could access it.
If you signed up just for the email list, you would have got that first thing. So
yeah, I got it.
That is one of those things you have to turn the OCD on to. The shaman's death. That's what this one was. The next shaman's death. That's what the start of this show is about. You're the perfect example of what it takes to get to the next level. You feel that you didn't get to the right level by not passing the bar. Guess what? There's millions out there that fail the bar but still go on to get government jobs without the damn bar degree.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
I know.
What do you really want to do with your law degree?
Hello, this is
Nothing. I
Congress
don't
call.
care about it.
Okay? You don't care about it. Okay? So then what are
As
you
far
going
as what I want to do with my energy, I don't want to do anything government. I don't want to do anything related to law. I just, I want to write spiritual text. I want to write fiction. The law degree helped me learn how to write, but I don't want to do anything with government or anything like that.
All right, then. Admit that to yourself and find the person of you that said, I'm going to law school, nothing's stopping me, and go back and remove that choice points of adherence as a cyclical meditation process. Because you ain't going to do it once, twice, or 3 times because you're early OCD on that and force that change, and that choice will never change. This is why you're stuck with crops that you grew 4 years ago and are still growing the same crops, but now your life isn't giving you what you want.
Yeah.
You are right. Law taught you how to write, but it also taught you how to be in business a little bit. You got to go into business for yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and that's not about practicing law. Let me ask you one question. Ask it the right way. When's the last time you actually had a dream, a long-lasting dream, one that you know is going to stay with you for a long time?
I've had a lot of dreams lately that have stuck with me. The past month or so, I've been journaling a lot, and I have been getting, I can think of 2 dreams right now.
Okay, go ahead.
That were,
What were they?
I was trying to I was kind of praying for dreams that would open the door to what I needed to heal. And then like that night or a couple nights later, I had a dream about the first time I had like a big crush on someone when I was like 12 or 13 and how I was rejected. And that kind of made me turn myself off, gave me like a big fear of rejection.
Okay. And the other one?
Yeah. Last night I had a dream about meeting my favorite, I don't know if this is that meaningful, but I had a dream about meeting my favorite music artist. And it kind of stuck with me.
Mm-hmm. There you go, tears again. Can't hide it. Why is your emotion just starting to bubble up like that? Do you even know?
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Why are my emotions bubbling up in ways that I'm not?
Yeah, because your OCD is trying to run your emotions now. That's the battle you're at. Your OCD is now saying, I'm so smart, I made her fail the law exam, and now I'm going to own this bitch. Okay? And I'm swearing for a reason, because I'm trying to get you to understand you have given so much power to this OCD. It is Bridezilla ruining your creation now.
I know.
Okay? I really want you to seriously consider how to write a law letter, spiritually wise, that fires this OCD program and actually takes it to court and say, this is how you fucked up my life, Bridezilla.
Bridezilla.
Okay? I'm using this because I want you to see that this OCD program as an aspect of your corporation, your incorporeal self, that was created, that is an employee that's screwing your life up, and you can take them to spiritual court of equity. Catch my drift here?
Yes.
Okay? You are demanding remedy and resolve. You're using the injunction power of the spiritual court of equity to stop that Bridezilla from doing what? Running your divine co-creative natural organic evolution. Okay? It no longer has backseat driver privileges. Heck, it can't even be in the car. It's fired and homeless on the street now. Okay? It's got to go on government assistance.
Well, good riddance.
Okay? But only you can write that letter of alchemy and actually do it.
Okay.
Okay? Use your writing skill, use your law skill. Be deviously with the words because you're just trying to skewer one of your own selves who's also planning with his own spiritual lawyers how to get back at you.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're fighting.
Uh-huh. This is like a divorce hearing with yourself. Okay? Except you're going to get
Okay.
100% of the house and it's going to get nothing.
Okay.
Okay? Don't settle for anything less than 100%.
Okay.
Okay? All right, darling, I got to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much. You've been a great teacher for a lot of people.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And our next person on the wheel of chaotic colors.
Next caller is R. Kaki from Mississippi area.
Mississippi, are you there?
Missouri.
Missouri, Mississippi, same thing. Who knows? Hello.
I'm from Mississippi.
Hi, what is your name?
Daisy Anderson.
Hello, Jay-Z. How you doing today?
I'm doing really great. I'm surprised that I'm on the show. Wow.
That's right. You
How
made
are
it through.
you?
You made it through the wheel of callers.
I did.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you.
So, do you have any specific questions you want to ask? What did you think of the opening speech or what the last caller was saying?
I really enjoyed listening to that contract revocation because a lot of people do have the power to better themselves and change themselves, you know, and I loved the choices that you were talking about because we all have so many choices.
That's right.
And I've had a lot of choices in the past month and a half. I'm a teacher here in Houston, actually.
Yeah.
I'm in Houston. I'm from Mississippi, but
Yeah.
I live in Houston. And I'm a teacher, and I just recently got a new principal and a new vice principal and a new coordinator, and our school is going through a lot of changes.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, how do I cope with it and not let it wreck my work experience? Because a lot of things that are going on, I don't really agree with.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of taken over.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been at that school?
This is my 4th year.
How many other administrators would you say have seen come and go from that school?
We had
Teachers.
the same administrator since I got there. She hired me, and
Okay.
she was super awesome. She was from Alabama, and
All right.
we had a lot in common. And I think it's because I miss her too that I feel upset about the new administration because I liked the way it was, but I know that things have to change.
Okay. So as I'm scanning your frequency here, so these new administrators are coming in and bringing what their point of view is wrong with the system. And sometimes what you believe is right and another person believes is wrong begins an ideological process. And there is more ideological karma exchange between the administrators and teachers, and the students aren't allowed to have any input whatsoever in our educational system. And this is why it's creating
Right.
such a blockade for you. So I have a little bit of advice. Begin looking for a new job as a process of alchemy. You don't have to take new jobs, but it'll help you alchemize out some of this energy of these new administrators, because once you begin looking for new jobs, your energy bodies go to these new places and say, I might be a potential there. Okay? It'll help quell some of the energies, because when we go in the mode of our mind looking for another job, even though we have one now, you're still not going to risk that job until such a time you're like, I'm ready to move to another place. And this is what affords you the ability to look deep and hard all over the country.
Okay. I actually have my application in a lot of places
See?
just because I had a lot of mixed feelings about the situation this summer before the school year started.
Yeah.
And I actually got another job, but I turned it down because my family it's good for us to be in Houston
Okay.
and kind of thing. But I understand what you're saying, that
Yeah.
I shouldn't let my job rule my life, I think. But
As a
it really
teacher,
gets in there.
it's really easy to let your job rule your life.
Yes.
What's the
It
one
is.
thing that they're doing that's changing, that's really irking you?
Well, they changed the schedule around so that now we don't get as much time to prep in between classes.
Uh-huh.
I teach art, so
Uh-huh.
it takes a while to transition between,
Uh-huh.
and so that's one thing that really upsets me, because that's going to change the way that I'm prepared for the kids.
Okay. What level students are you teaching?
Kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay, so really young. So
Yeah.
you're basically herding the feral cats to focus on an art project.
Right.
Okay?
And some, yeah, the little ones, yeah.
Okay? You'd be
Actually
surprised
use that phrase.
you'd be surprised what a can of tuna does to feral cats. All right? The older ones are a little more tame.
Yeah.
They want their tuna. Okay?
Right.
Have you ever thought about you opening your own individual art academy that is teaching what you already do, but at a affordable price that can have, a facility that you can have art therapists there? You ever seen that, a dream like that?
Yeah, I think so. My husband and I really wanted to do that. We wanted to do art together. So he's an artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that, like, what I do is more spiritual,
Yeah.
for me and for the kids. It really is a form of therapy because of expression. And people need to express themselves, even
That's right.
when they're little. So, that's why I do it.
So, have you ever heard of vision boards?
Yes, but I'm not really up. I've heard the term.
So that is where you make a big piece of construction paper on the wall that has all your dreams and visions, or it's very singular focused. What I would like for you to do is to make a vision board that takes all of your artistic concepts and tries to distill it into a artistic business plan. Okay? No rules. A
Okay.
business plan doesn't have to be text. It can be splatters on the wall and 5 lines explaining what the splatters on the wall are. It's your own frequency of art to help you take art to the next level of personal business. Okay?
Yeah.
Whether it's you creating your own art piece and entering juried art competitions, you could be traveling countrywide to all the art shows that the big cities put on, along with all the whole other crafter industry. I'm sure you've thought about that before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I majored in sculpture, so
Okay?
yeah, I think it's a good. I would love to be doing art all the time. It's just, I need to have a full-time job.
Okay.
I know that's crazy to say.
Until such a time
but,
that you
like,
are
my
able...
personality.
Right. Until such a time you can create your own business that allows you to invest your own time into your own work to accomplish your own dreams instead of doing the dreams of others with the illusion that you are doing it year to year for the kids. No, you're doing it for the money. You just admitted it. The kids just make it fun.
Yeah.
Okay? Now let's take
I
the
see
that's
that
that's
in a
taking
way.
the martyr out of the teacher here. Okay?
Okay.
So when you try to take the martyr out of the teacher, you can go into business for yourself. You just have to make a choice. Okay?
I think that I understand. I really am interested in doing the vision board. And I want to be, a powerful person and to be able to,
and I know you
express
can.
myself.
And I know you can do it. Okay? Did you have any other questions that you want to ask?
I just like if you could do a scan of just like my physical being, and see if you
Yeah.
see anything
Are you
there that
having
I should work on.
Are you having any gastrointestinal problems?
Um, I guess I probably could use a cleanse.
No, do you have stomach aches, burps, gas, something that's going on? You're not digesting food?
No, I
Constipation?
don't think so. No, 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 no.
Oh, well, your your intestinal tract is very sluggish. And that's probably because you work with kids. Sometimes it's really easy to overlove a kid that you know is not getting any love.
Yeah.
Okay? And no matter how hard it is, you do have to begin disentangling from all the students you've had over the 4 years. This does not mean you're stop loving them. You're just closing the portals on older frequencies of time. And if that's a being of true love, it will come to your spirit in true love and have new forms of communication, not adhering to the old path and drawing energy from a previous version of yourself. So that is taking away from your energy, your total available energy. And that's what stops new points of view that could show you a new way of living with yourself. Now, there are some other things going on. These are minor, minor, minor. Both feet have damage to them. I think at a younger age in life, you actually maybe you stubbed your toe right at the pinky level and broke some bones in both feet. You ever remember some horrible toe
Yeah,
stubbing?
I did, yes, and I wore braces because I was pigeon-toed.
So you've got some feet healing to do. So I would seriously invest some time into a body worker, someone that is very advanced in cranial sacral therapy or very advanced in reflexology. And really begin to do the work to repair that trauma of the pigeon toe, the braces, and all the other damage that was done with that to your personality.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Well,
Let me
thank
look.
you so much.
There's a little bit more here. So it is definitely time for you to have a full on round of colonics or doing on your own home Kalima board. Um, any teeth issues the last couple months?
Yeah, I got a crown, like 2 months ago.
Where was it at?
I was in the bottom, my left. I had to have a root canal.
Okay.
My teeth are, I mean, they look good, but the back ones, I have to have another crown too. So,
So you're
yeah,
waiting
and
for the
then it'll
second. You're
be all
waiting.
done.
Are you waiting to do the second crown?
Yes, I'm gonna make an appointment. I already, well, they already said that I needed it, and so
Yeah, I wouldn't
I'm
wait
gonna
any
get it
long. I wouldn't
soon.
wait any longer. It's going to really begin to create issues for you. Really, really create issues for you. So when you have two in a row like that, that means there's definitely something going on in your spiritual world, in the unseen world. Because you work with kids, there are times that your angelic warrior wings come out and scare away some negative entities. And I think that this
Yeah.
is something you've alchemized out of some children. And just get that toothache taken care of. And yes, you took one for the team, and it's okay. It's cutting out now.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, you're doing pretty good. Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay. Healing those feet, very important. It means you can take new types of steps on your own sacred journey.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I do need to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions you want to ask?
No, I just wanted to say that I appreciate your advice and that I wish you positivity.
Yes.
And
You going to be able to
and I
come to?
appreciate you
Yeah.
taking my call.
Yeah. You going to be able to come to the event this year?
My husband really wants to go, and so I hope we're going to be able to come. He had talked to you about a month ago, and so
He was the metal
we're
artist.
trying to
He
get
was
that together.
he was the
Yeah,
yeah. I remember who he is. I know who he is.
yeah.
It was a fun read. He was a really fun read.
He's great.
Yeah. All right, darling. I hope to see you at the event, and just go ahead and take it easy today. Don't rush yourself, and allow yourself to just be.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You take it easy, and I hope to see you at the event. All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Let's move
Okay,
on to the
bye.
next caller.
Next caller is going to be Kendra.
Kendra, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Kendra. How you doing today?
Good. Thank you for taking my call. Oh my God, I've been trying to talk to you forever.
Well, you have made it through the wheel of callers. How did you find out about the material? How did you find out about me?
So like, it was about 3 years ago. I had like a really like a psychotic break almost. I was listening to New Earth Nation, and then I found you with Victoria Keane, and that video, The Key to Ireland, that really like set something off in me.
Uh-huh. So what questions do you want to ask today?
Well, I'm feeling like there's some kind of block in my head, like on the right side, like in the temple region.
Yes.
And I'm trying to just figure out what it is and if it's like mind control programming or what I can do to like remove it completely.
Okay. It's not a mind control program. It's your own.
Okay.
It's your very own creation.
Okay.
Okay. So, just what year were you born?
1984.
All right, so I'm just going to go in the raw. So just repeat after me, and I'll go ahead and I'll formulate what's going on with this blockage. I, in this ever-present moment of now,
I, in this ever-present moment of now,
choose to acknowledge this moment of now.
choose to acknowledge this moment of now.
No other moment of then can exist.
No other moment of then can exist.
No other choice points from then can exist.
No other choice points of then can exist.
Only can the now exist.
Only can the now exist.
I look at the torch of eldership
I look at the torch of eldership
that is being offered by the moments of then.
that is being offered by the moments of then.
I see control,
I see control,
manipulation,
manipulation,
and not sovereign actions.
and non-sovereign action.
Why is the legacy of myself passing this to me?
Why is the legacy of myself passing this to me?
I go beyond the moments of then,
I go beyond the moments of then,
and I use my discerning third eye
and I use my discerning third eye
to find out where and when in time space
to find out where and when in time space
I created this program
I created this program
so that then would be more important than now.
so that then would be more important than now.
I am not fixed and locked in one frequency of time.
I am not fixed and locked in one frequency of time.
I am not fixed and locked into fear.
I am not fixed and locked into fear.
I am a divine, co-creative feminine spirit.
I am a divine, co-creative feminine spirit,
Engage in my sacred feminine warrior,
engaging my sacred feminine warrior,
pulling out my sacred feminine purse,
pulling out my sacred feminine purse,
and hitting over the head the unseen world
and hitting over the head the unseen world
with my purse that has a brick in it.
with my purse that has a brick in it.
No longer shall you imprint me, unseen world.
No longer shall you imprint the unseen world.
No longer will you imprint me, unseen world.
No longer will you imprint me, unseen world.
I carry a big purse and a brick.
I carry a big purse and a brick.
I am aware of you now,
I'm aware of you now.
and now I'm going to uncreate your ass.
Now I'm going to uncreate your ass.
In all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, and universe.
In all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, and universes.
You are like a rat caught by the tail,
You are like a rat caught by the tail,
about to be flushed down the universal toilet.
about to be flushed down the universal toilet.
It is in this moment of now,
It is in this moment of now.
I sever all contracts, vows, and agreements.
I sever all contracts, vows, and agreements.
Burn up all the spiritual paper
Burn up all the spiritual paper
and inform my ancestors.
and inform my ancestors.
We are in spiritual court of equity
You are in spiritual court of equity
with any physical being
any physical being
who has imprinted fear in me from the 2012 process.
who has imprinted fear in me in the 2012 process.
You are false teachers and false light.
You are false teachers and false light.
I can no longer accept your version of illumination,
I can no longer accept your version of illumination.
for it has brought me to this moment of now where I must hit you in the head with a brick.
What has brought me to this moment of now in which I must hit you on the head with a brick.
In your unseen world,
In your unseen world,
so you understand.
so you understand.
You have stepped on my journey,
You have stepped on my journey.
made fear,
What was that?
made fear,
They fear,
and driven me to insanity.
driven me to insanity.
That is wrong,
That is wrong.
and I now expose you
I now expose you
to all ancestors present in this spiritual court of equity
with all ancestors present in the spiritual court of equity
as the false light teachers that you are.
and the false light teachers that you are.
You are a sad part of human history
You are a sad part of human history
who will be made irrelevant
who will be made irrelevant
to my greater changes in myself.
in my greater changes in myself.
I now make this solid real now.
I now make this solid real now.
All right, how you feeling?
I feel good. I feel a little sad towards the end, but I'm feeling like that's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that.
Okay. So you had a classic 2012 fear program put into you.
Okay.
Okay. Do a lot of Facebook back then?
Yeah, I was watching a lot of I was reading a lot on Cosmic Gaia, and I realized that I invoked some shady kind of stuff that was because I didn't really have discernment then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like reading everything and like reading all these invocations, and I feel like I got like some kind of entity or something.
Yep. You did. Dozens, actually. That's why I had you
Yeah.
with your spiritual person, a brick. Okay? The image that I saw was literally your light bodies, like 50 of your light bodies with a big person, a brick, whacking these entities all around you. You have that power now to use the big purse and the big brick. Okay?
Nice.
To anything that comes into your field trying to create fear, you go, no, where's my spiritual person brick? Get out of my field. You have that right as a legacy to yourself to pass on empowerment to claim your space. This is how you'll create your change. Okay? Some walk tall and carry a big stick. You walk tall and carry a purse with a brick in it. Okay? They won't see it coming, especially if it's an accessorized purse. You whack them with the Gucci.
Oh, man.
The Gucci got him. Comedy can disembowel darkness in seconds. Okay? You demasculate them when you create those types of things. I had a show where I pulled out a wooden spoon and went to the entire Archon grid and just like a grandma, whacked them all with a wooden spoon. You might want to get a big wooden spoon too and demasculate those energies that are creating fear in you, because you are the divine feminine warrior. There's more than just bricks in your purse. There's rainbows, butterflies, and stampedes of unicorn that can flatten any dark being out there. Imagine a stampede of 5 million unicorns running over the demon trying to influence you. That's a lot of horns, isn't it?
Definitely.
You can summon that power if you choose. You've had a hard time in your life owning your power, haven't you?
Yes, definitely.
What do you do for a job?
I'm a hairdresser.
Okay. How long you been doing it for?
14 years.
Okay. So it's fair to say you've seen all the drama come and go.
I'm definitely over hairdressing. I really don't want to be doing it anymore.
What do you want to do?
That's what I'm having a hard time figuring out. I like doing healing and stuff like that, and I really love crystals and.
Okay.
like
Loving to do
flower
healing and
essences.
crystals doesn't make you money, though, does it?
No.
No. It'd be a pauper on the street with a bunch of crystals. Okay. So now let's get authentic, real. What do you know you can do other than hairdressing? With the skill sets you have now.
Counseling? I don't know.
Okay? You don't know. And it's okay to not know. This is why so much fear is in you. I don't know my purpose. I don't know this. I don't know this. You have an infinite amount of purposes. Right now, hairdressing will be what pays the bills for you to figure out what you want to do. And that's what I want you to think of hairdressing now as. It's no longer a job. It is what pays the bills until I can figure out what I want to do. Now, I always advise people to go and take healing classes, which I think you should, an actual education in it. Could you transition from hairdresser to masseuse? You've already done 14 years of direct, close people. You would do good in massage therapy for a few years, but ultimately you would be still adding on to your 14 years of direct human care. So I would think that it's time for you to look at a different type of job, a serious different type of job, maybe owning the hairdressing salon and making money off of everyone else that's there. Or, I'm going to push this a little bit, that you make a decision that everything that hairdressing has done for you, that for the next year, year and a half, you're going to double your work ethics, make as much money as you can, so you can walk away from the job and go on a spiritual journey. And when you come back, there's a little money to restart. So you go on a long sabbatical where you can recover because you did get beat up by hairdressing.
Yeah.
Okay, you did.
Definitely.
You know, if you got extra money, invest into body work. You've got the classic hairdresser, body symptoms going. Their shoulder blades are too tight. C6 and C7 are pulled out of place. Your sacrum's crocked to the left. Both of your feet and Achilles tendons are fully out of alignment. So the fullness of your natural body mechanics isn't there. No matter how much you work out, no matter how much yoga, you'll never fix the mechanics until you understand where it went wrong. Okay? Have you been able to do any rituals or ceremonies that I've talked about on the shows?
I do the salt on the four corners of my room, and I haven't done like quite a fire ceremony. I like when there is fire, I try to like put my issues into it and whatnot. And
Yeah,
I've read the contract revocations many times.
Yeah. But ultimately the answer is no. You've never been able to invest more than a recreational fire and some moment prayers.
Yeah.
So you're really not serious then.
No, I guess I feel like a little like when I do, I guess I don't want to do it in front of anyone. And
There you
I don't
go.
really have a lot of
Fear of projection, that they'll judge you. Okay?
Yeah.
Why does your self-praxis require a judgment before you do it? Who authorized that in your frequency?
Oh.
Pull out the purse and the brick.
Church? I hate the church.
Whack the church with the purse and the brick. Shatter its illusion. Crash. Now what's stopping you? What's the next thing that's going to project a judgment at you? The neighbor down the street? Hit him in his unseen world with the purse. And anything else that would project at you that you must go through shame, blame, and guilt before you actually do anything. This is really what your next group and monthly focus should be. Hitting everything in the spiritual world in the head with their purse with a brick in it that takes away, that creates shame, blame, or guilt before you actually do something. So you can engage the fullness of your own being, the fullness of your sacred discipline, to have fun and joy at it, and it not to even be stolen before you do it.
This call is being recorded.
The system is listening. It knows you have a purse and a brick.
Oh my God, creepy.
So do you have any other questions that you want to ask?
Can you tell me, so I grew up in this little town, and there's like a lot of nasty stuff going on there, and like pedophile rings and stuff like that. And I went to kindergarten in the Masonic temple, and I remember when I was like really little, it took us on some field trip, and like they put me in like a chest, and like
I have to
know,
laugh
it's really
here. Do you know how many hairdressers in 20 years have called me that have went to church or went to school in Masonic temples? You're probably the 150th minimum.
wow.
Eh? It is so common. And that's why you are where you're at now. You got haunted early. Haunted into being a hairdresser at that. And to not to find your own natural will.
I really didn't want to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a scientist.
I know.
And I just did that instead because it was easier, like in the time being, and I didn't have the money.
Okay. Now you're going to use hairdressing to give you the money, work harder, so you can go do what the hell you want to do. Live your life. This is just a change in perception. Hairdressing is no longer a career. It's what I do to get the fuck out of here and do what I need to do. Okay? It's a suck it up, buttercup moment. You have been an incredibly cool teacher to a lot of people. I wanted to let you know. An incredibly cool teacher. Okay?
Thank you.
You are helping so many people just by your own voice right now. So what I would like for you to do is force yourself, and I mean force yourself to go out and have those ceremonies. And even if you got to find a purse with a brick and just start waving it around in the air, all right? So all the spirit energies know you're serious. Take charge of your reality. Okay? And if you're really, really that afraid you're going to set your town on fire, go and get a gas grill, all right? It's fire too. And put some burgers on top of it and say your prayers in front of that. What are they going to say then? Okay? Cook some ribs really slow and eat them when you're done. That's consuming your own power.
This call is being recorded.
Could I have a fireplace, like an electric fireplace thing. Could I do it into that?
So is it gas or electric?
Yeah, it's a gas, I'm sorry.
So is it a very smaller flame?
No, it's like regular log size.
Okay, that's good to start with. Though at some point you do have to make the journey to go outside because you're still in the privacy of your own home and you're not getting all the projections if you actually started your outdoor fire.
Okay.
Okay? Yours is just getting rid of projections. As soon as you get rid of the projections of others, guess what? Life is going to be easy.
So when I feel others projecting onto me, what I've been doing is just imagining a mirror, like directing it back to them.
No,
Is there any
shatter
other tips you could give me on
the
that?
mirrors so they have no ability to project and reflect you. Shatter everything. Shatter their ability to communicate to you. Use the contract revocations and the way they're written to cease all energy exchanges. Pick up the union and communion consciousness strike and make that your daily mantra. Until you get I am serious, in quotations, I am serious, nothing's going to change. And you know this already.
Hmm.
Okay? What does it take to literally get the fire lit up under your butt?
I just have to do it.
Okay? Are you in a relationship?
No.
No. When's the last time you've been in one?
I don't know, like a serious relationship, not for a while. I mean, I just kind of push everyone away because they're not what I want. Nobody's like adds up to what I need or want in a relationship.
When the hell are you going to get out of this small little town that's killing you?
Well, I'm not in a small town anymore. That was just where I grew up. I'm in a pretty large city now.
What city?
Portsmouth.
No,
New Hampshire.
you are in a small ass town. Come on.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire. That's not that small. It's like a big New Hampshire city.
It's still New Hampshire small. It's not Los Angeles. It's not Miami. It's not New York. It's not Chicago.
I used to live in Florida.
Okay.
I lived in Florida for like 7 years in like Deerfield Beach.
Get your ass out of little haunted New Hampshire. Hey, get your ass out of there. You can be a hairdresser anywhere. You can go
I know. Where should I go? I don't want to go back to Florida. I think I might go to Hawaii.
Why don't you grab a globe and spin and allow yourself to just think for the next couple months? You have to change your potentials here. Because if you don't change yourself before you go to somewhere new, you're not going to have the same problem the new place that you go. Make yourself I am serious. When your I am selves begin to realize you're serious about moving out of this place, they're going to fight back. And this is the strategy of the greater self, to stir yourself up so you can observe yourself and whack everything in the head with the purse with the brick in it that's inside you, trying to stop you from greater success. Again, this is about lighting a fire inside you that has passion and spontaneity, so nothing inside you is resisting anymore.
Okay.
All right, darling, I got to let you go. Thank you so much. You have been a fabulous
Thank you so
teacher.
much.
All righty.
You're awesome. I'm so sorry to interrupt. You're so awesome. I thank you for your work, and I will continue to listen to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All righty. So let me take some questions from the chat room here. Just 1 second. Lana, this is the most fun revocation I've heard from Andrew. That laughing out loud. All right, there we go. Let's see what questions. Stampede of unicorns and whacking them with Gucci bags. So everyone is kind of writing that. So if anybody has questions that want to put into the chat room, I think I need to refresh my page. That's why I'm not seeing all the chat. All right. All right, so let's move on to the next call.
Okay, the next call is from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu, Hawaii. Are you there?
I am here.
And what is your name?
My name is Julie.
Hi, Julie. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Andrew. How about yourself?
I am doing good today. How did you find out about me?
Well, let's see. I spoke to you back in 2013 when you were doing walking and energy shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's originally how I found out about you. And I spoke to you for a little bit on one of the calls then.
So it was a long time ago. How have things changed for you since 2013?
Yes.
It's been quite interesting. I feel like I got a kickstart, especially around the time when I was speaking with you or spoke to you, and then I was also introduced to Nikki at the time. And it seemed from there I started to kind of, I started to feel a lot of resistance within myself from moving forward. And but I also developed a lot of skills. I started to speak light language, and also I can write it too.
Okay. So what kind of questions did you have today?
I was wondering if I could first speak a light language with you.
Absolutely.
Miwa ke kalawa heskashini kinaya oala ara uare ini ka asa asushia muake kalaratera ini oale korututu tuata asere gustiwa.
Namo I yaka. Iana waka haka yi yaka honi a yitine maka nashmohida naka ha hatayaka hatayata kata shumene ya namo yi nahaka yi numia nakasha utuyi yaka unata. Thank you.
Kore kwa hesa ashi ayuahite orati kinua ara tuwe senu harta arata dunchi isi
Nama yi
Mio hale kwatawa.
Hagayata Yakigina Shamugi Gigashinaka Konichinakata Wana hi yaka yatahina kata.
Kurukoda barakonoa hise ayo alia warta harni upa arke. Asa ni ikaela anura la kata una. Asishi duguremoa laro oha esena.
Nahi yakata Hiko ni ya nakacha wata kachana Kashi Shikone Natalia Kachata wata. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
To sum it all up for everyone there, there was this unique greeting that had a rather unique joke in it. And the best way I can translate it without it being terrible cheese is two light workers walk into a bar. What happens next? Judgment. And it was about all the different forms of judgment that we can perceive. There are times in light language we put together what the world is suffering from. Judgment. And it's a way to solve judgment's issues. Do you know what you were saying?
No.
No. I would like for you to record yourself.
What?
I would like for you to record yourself and begin to actually listen to yourself in a meditative state. You go into meditation and you actually hear your own voice. Even if you let yourself fall asleep to your own light language voice, it's important that you begin to learn this, as in your own self-immersion into it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, because I can feel it in my heart. And it was funny. I could feel laughter in me, joy laughter when I was speaking it back to you too. But I don't understand it.
It was a very unique, multi-dimensional joke, actually. And I said that the base essence is about how light workers create judgment. That's why I based it down to two light workers walk into a bar. But it was seriousness that was pointing out through the use of light language comedy how to break perceptions, break judgments. Why are light workers so judgmental? Because a bunch of puritanical retired women are trying to run the industry. That's why. They're trying to make us all conform to their puritanical beliefs.
Oh, wow.
That's right. And there's a bunch of puritanical women out there picking up their purse trying to hit me in the head right now.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's all right. I have an anti-purse defense system.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, so I'm so happy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
and I feel like I am relating with a lot of some of the callers on here today.
Yeah.
And thank you for your speaking in the beginning of this. And
What have you connected from the other callers? What were some of the essence of what you've connected or learned?
yes, fear, and I feel like I am either I don't have the energy or there's something in me. I feel a voice in me that says, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. Tired
and
of
it
what?
feels like a martyr, too.
Yeah, tired of what?
Keep working.
Smoking the hopium?
Keep working.
No,
Work,
I'm going to go
work.
deeper. Smoking the hopium that 2012 was going to change the world. Come on, go back to your 2012 self. You thought it was going to happen, didn't you?
Yes, I thought that it was, and it was also what I picked up from many people, because I was always not one of those people that would listen to this or that. It was kind of like,
Do you remember
okay,
what
whatever. But
do you remember
at
what
that
I've said?
time, I did.
Do you remember what I was saying back then? Nothing would happen tomorrow. The aliens aren't going to come. That has been my message since day one. You were there during the first Walking in Energy show, and I'm sure I said it on that show. Nothing will happen tomorrow. The aliens aren't going to come. Cobra can pit all those resistance free earth bullshit he wants. Guess what? Nothing's happening with your unity meditations, motherfucker. Nothing. You're just selling fear, just like David Wilcock, just like Corey Good, pandering fear and selling it as books that creation is coming if you sit on your couch and watch Gaia TV. That's smoking the hopium. Okay? You got to detox off of hope, darling, and create your own. Be your own sovereign self. Shove off all the teachers, including me. Be your own self-illuminated master. Are you ready to accept that legacy of yourself?
It feels very, it's the unknown, and it feels just like a void, like I've never felt a void before, and
It's the undiscovered territory of your own dreams. Being free of everyone else's fear point of view. Oh my God, I can create my own, and the only limitations is what I believe in myself. All I have to do is self-heal and self-nurture, and I'm on the path to seeking my own knowledge without imprints from others. It takes passion, darling. Passion. Passion to get off the hopium. Now you're teaching a lot of other callers out there who are like, I don't smoke the hopium. Yeah, you do. You're all smoking the hopium. Okay? The person asking about the straw man accounts. Guess what? You're never going to happen. As soon as you entangle with the court, you've already lost. I did 700 hours on law. That's what all the law people agree. But none of them are going to tell you that because they won't have no more shit to sell you or won't go to their conferences. That's the big secret in the law industry. The big secret in the spirituality industry, they're either pandering fear or giving you techniques that don't actually work. Because the people that say them, they don't practice them. You know how many spiritual people that have websites that have come to me that don't practice their own material, and yet they want to know why no one buys it? Just because you're the creator doesn't mean you don't practice the stuff. Okay? What's your practice?
My practice. At times I know, but right now I don't know.
Okay? That's good to say that. That's an admission you could know is authentic. Okay? Now you have to create passion so that you can find something that fits your signature frequency of you. Okay? Are you in a relationship now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How long you been together?
About 1 year.
About 1 year. How did you meet?
I knew him before because I worked, he's a tattoo artist and I worked at his shop. But then we met again through one of the dating websites.
Okay. And?
Yes, and I feel it's a bit of a codependent relationship.
Okay. Does he really make you feel good for yourself?
Does it feel good for myself?
No, does he make you feel good in yourself? I asked a hard question, didn't I?
No.
Does he compliment how good you look?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And would he only when he wants sex?
No.
Okay.
No.
You certain about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, maybe not. Maybe I don't know, but a lot of times he's even too tired just to have sex. So I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. There's many parts of him I do love, but
yeah, you love
what?
him. But there are some unhealed parts of him that drive you crazy.
Yes.
And there's unhealed parts of you that drive him crazy. That's called karma. Okay? Now you've come to another authentic moment in your life. This is a karmic relationship. That doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just means you have a moment of awareness to change this karma so it no longer irks you about whatever he's doing as a trigger in your spirit. Here's where you can make greater relationships with him. By literally giving him a virtual script of how you want him to compliment you, how you want him to say that you look sexy, how you want him to come home from work and not fall asleep, you want him to ravage you. Okay? If you don't tell him, he don't know. Take some of the guessing.
Okay, maybe not in that full
Right,
extent,
exactly. You were vague and you were beating around the bush.
I know. I told him when we first started dating, I told him exactly what I wanted. I said,
Yeah.
I want to have a child.
And you don't have one now.
No.
Well, ask him why.
He's scared.
Okay. Scared of what? Grown up?
Responsibility, and
Okay.
he doesn't want to take responsibility, and I don't know if he truly wants one. I don't know.
Does that mean you can stay with him if he actually truly does not want children?
Oh, what was that question?
Does that mean you will not be able to stay with him if the answer is he does not absolutely want no children?
Well, yeah, because I want to. And then, yes, I want to find someone who wants to have a child with me.
Then that's what you need to make absolutely clear to him. If you are not wanting to have a child in the next 8 months or next 9 months, we are going to separate, and I'm going to go find a mate that will do that. We stay maybe friends with benefits, but I will be looking.
Here's what comes into play, Andrew, when I even think of telling him that. This huge fear comes up about going out and meeting somebody else.
Yeah, because it was so hard just to meet him.
What?
It was so hard just to meet him.
Yeah.
So fear now.
Huge.
Uh-huh.
Extreme.
Uh-huh.
Like extreme. I can't even.
Let me help you take away some of this fear. So just go ahead and repeat after me. I, at this ever-present moment of now,
I, at this ever-present moment of now,
choose to engage my sovereign feminine warrior
choose to engage my feminine sovereign warrior
for the express purpose
for the express purpose
of removing fear from my signature frequency.
of removing fear from my signature frequency.
I am a being of love,
I am a being of love,
created through love.
created through love.
And this is what I am looking for.
This is what I am looking for.
Any being that is not a signature frequency match
Any being that is not a frequency signature match
of this I am love being
of this I am love being
shall not be in my karmic presence
shall not be in my karmic presence
of potential mates
of potential mates
whom I may have children,
who I may have children.
grow old in love,
What was that last one?
grow old in love,
Grow old in love,
have children and grandchildren,
have children and grandchildren,
spoil the grandchildren and send them home full of sugar,
spoil the grandchildren and send them home full of sugar,
and watch my own children learn the lesson of adulthood as parents.
and watch my own children learn the lesson of,
Adulthoods as parents.
what was that?
Of adult parents.
Adult parents.
I'm choosing to make this potential real in my frequency,
And choosing to make this potential real in my frequency,
all frequencies of fear,
all frequencies of fear,
of rejection,
of rejection,
betrayal,
betrayal,
or any other form that should lessen my divine femininity,
or any other form that should lessen my divine femininity,
is reduced to 0 minus infinity,
is reduced to 0 minus infinity,
so it can never exist in my potential
so it can never exist in my potential
of my free will looking for true love,
of my free will looking for true love.
I am a being of love.
I am a being of love.
I emanate this love.
I emanate this love.
And I now begin the hunt for my twin flame.
And I now begin the hunt for my twin flame.
This is what I make solid real now.
This is what I make solid real now.
Anything in the seen or unseen world that shall stop me of this journey,
Anything in the seen and unseen world that will stop me of this journey,
I pull out
I pull out
my sacred feminine purse
my sacred feminine purse
and I place the spiritual brick in it.
and I place the spiritual brick in it.
Tempt me, get in my way, other selves,
Tempt me, get in my way, other selves,
and you shall get the brick to the head.
and you shall get the brick to the head.
getting out of my journey,
getting out of my journey,
so that I may get out of my own way.
so I may get out of my own way.
Any unseen world entities,
Any unseen world entity,
I now arm my guides and guardians
I now arm my guides and guardians
with this Gucci purse, with this Gucci purse.
Hello?
Hello, you there? Can you hear me? Hello. They didn't want your guides and guardians armed. Ooh, look at this. We're getting reaction. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, there we are. They didn't want you to be arming your guides and guardians. I now arm my guides and guardians
I now arm my guides and guardians
with this metaphorical purse
with this metaphorical purse
that has a brick in it,
that has the brick in it.
be it demon or archon.
What was that?
Be it demon or archon,
Be it demon or archon.
cabal or illusionaries,
I'm sorry, what was that?
cabal or Illuminatis.
Cabal or Illuminati.
You should all get the brick to the head.
Hello?
Yep. You shall all get the brick to the head. That keeps muting.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me
Hello?
now?
Hello?
Yep.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You all get the metaphorical brick to the head,
You all get the metaphorical brick to the head.
just as you have done to me in the past.
Just as you have done to me in the past.
I am now making you irrelevant to my greater changes.
I am now making you irrelevant to my greater changes.
Whatever you have to teach, I have learned before,
Whatever you have to teach, I have learned before.
and I shall not want you as a signature frequency anymore.
And I shall not want you as a signature frequency anymore.
All spiritual contracts, vows, and agreements
All spiritual contracts, vows, and agreements
are now broken in every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe.
are now broken in every time stream, galaxy,
And universe.
and universe.
I make this choice solid, real now.
I make this choice solid, real now.
Aho.
Oh,
All right. How did you feel in that?
I started to feel much more empowered towards the end.
Okay. Much more into that good. I would advise you to pick up the contract revocations and start to do it on a very regular basis. Okay? Get out there and hunt for your twin flame. It's your legacy. Mahata, Naka, Yata, Wata, Kina, Nachamaka. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.
All right, you have a great day. Do we have a winner yet?
Let's see, one moment.
My chat room is not working for me. It's not scrolling up or down, and sometimes that happens here. Do we have a winner on the free tickets from the chat room today?
Debbie's typing.
Okay, and the infamous Debbie in the background is typing.
Christy Russell.
And the winner is Christy Russell. You have won 2 free tickets to come to the live event October 5th through the 8th, 2017 at the Marriott in downtown Seattle, right next to the SeaTac. For those of you that are interested in purchasing the course, there is a button below that allows you to enroll. You will also get 2 free tickets to come to the event. You'll get the Alchemy course, the Equinox course, and the Solstice course, all as a part of that 25 hours plus of teachings of the sacred neutral point of view, out loud, name it to claim it, revocations that shall take you on your shaman's path, to see and let go of the old shells that are out there. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I'll see you this coming Monday for the next adventure into reality.